It's so easy to make you guys happy.
Pen and paper clip, that's nice.
They love when you walk in the door, right?
Oh, a pad too, wow.
About 50 of them.
Look at that. Who's on the phone?
Brian here.
Oh, hi, Brian.
Hi, Brian.
Hey, guys.
All right, welcome to the August 19th, 2024 Village Board meeting. If you could please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. So, Joel, you wanna?
Sure.
I don't know if you wanna
Oh, you want me
just
to sit, right?
stand or you can
I'll just
sit.
pull up it. Oh,
You're right
hold
under
on.
the mic there.
Where's the
so-
mic?
The mic's right above you, so.
Ah, you can hear me.
Yep.
Very good. So, I'm Joel Friedman with New York Class. My background is I worked for Standard & Poor's in New York City for 25 years. I used to rate money market funds, bond funds, and local government investment programs. This is a local government investment program. It started in 1989, so it's been around 35 or so years, and you know, it's, maybe I'll stand up. It's
You
hard.
can roll the podium over too if you want someplace to lean.
Yeah.
Arthur, maybe move that tripod.
I think it's
maybe.
easier to stand, so that's perfect. So yeah, it started in 1989, and it's been around. So basically, it's like a money market mutual fund. So you put your money in, you get your money out, $1 per share. I handed out some information, and you can see here some of the benefits that a lot of the municipalities like is that same-day liquidity. What does that mean? Let's say you put your money in, you want it tomorrow, you got it. You can do everything by wire or ACH. So, you know, if you need the money tomorrow, that's ACH. Wire is the same day. We also provide for unlimited sub-accounts. So what that means, let's say the village has a general fund, or water, sewer. Every one of those gets an audit-ready report. So, you know, your auditor will come in, they'll take a look at the report. Monthly basis, it's calculated, all the interest is calculated for you. So there's nothing that you have to do in addition. You know, looking at the safety side of things, it's rated AAAM by Standard & Poor's. So Standard & Poor's rates only things on the AAAM basis that are completely liquid each day. Principal is safe. So your major concern as a village, a town, a municipality, a city would be to get your money back, not the interest. Interest is secondary. Well, that's kind of our goal. Our goal is safety, then liquidity, and then yield. So, you know, looking at the safety side, again, 35 years, nobody has lost even a penny in this program. So always it's paid out full principal value plus the interest. The interest will vary. So the interest base is based on, you know, whatever the Fed is doing. So let's say the Fed raises rates, which they did for the last couple of years, and you saw it happen. You'll see our rates over 5% now. It follows the Fed very closely. When the Fed lowers rates, you're going to see our rates start coming down as well. However, it'll probably be slower than what a bank does, because the bank lowers rates usually, you know, next day or within a week or so. Ours has an average of about 50 to 60 days of maturity because of the treasuries that we buy. The only thing that we can buy is the same thing that the village can buy. So that would be treasuries, collateralized deposits, and collateralized overnight repurchase agreements with only the highest rated banks. And Standard & Poor's rating requires that we only use the highest rated banks. And you'll receive a copy of the collateral statement every month as well. And the collateral statement basically explains what's in there. Again, your auditor is gonna want that collateral statement probably annually, but you'll get it monthly right on the online portal. So as far as safety, that's some of the safety aspects, but also it is governed by a board of your peers. So there's some villages on the board, some towns, a county, and a fire district as well. So I'm not sure if you guys handed out who else uses it locally, but I can read you off just some of the names so you know. For example, the city of Beacon and city of Poughkeepsie, the county of Dutchess has used it for a while. A bunch of fire districts, probably about 15 or so, some school districts, and as far as villages, Fishkill, Millbrook, Millerton, Rhinebeck, and Wappingers Falls. Towns, Amenia, Beekman, Clinton, East Fishkill, Northeast, Pleasant Valley, Poughkeepsie, Red Hook, Rhinebeck, Stanford, Unionville, and Wappinger. So a lot of towns and villages do use the program as well. And they've been using it anywhere from 10 plus years just to the past couple years. Because again, rates have been really good lately because of the Fed. So as far as, so I mentioned the collateral, the safety aspects. Does anybody have any question about the safety? Because that's, obviously the most important. Okay, so liquidity, I mentioned about either ACH or wire. It's up to you guys how you'd want to do it or how you usually do it. You keep your bank or banks. You don't get rid of them. You always have access to your banks. We are not a bank. We are just an investment program. Hopefully you'll earn some additional money and interest in a safe way. So, liquidity, we have no minimums. So you could put in $10,000, $100,000, $1 million, $10 million, it doesn't matter. You'll get the same rate. Everyone in the program gets the same rate. So Dutchess County, they might have a lot of money. They're gonna get the same rate as one of the fire districts who might have just a small amount of money. Doesn't matter. Today the rate is, it's right now 5.17. And that compounds and pays every day. So let's just say you put in $1 million, just hypothetically. And in a week, you decide, we want that money back. You do an ACH, which is overnight. You get the interest. You keep that interest for those 7 days. Doesn't matter when you put it in, as long as it gets in that day, you get the interest same day, and then you'll keep it up until the time you take it out. You can take out all the money part of it. There is no contract or anything like that. This cooperative program, the reason it can pay such high yields is it's very large. It's about $13 billion total now, combined with another, we have a prime and a regular. The prime is only for counties because they can buy what's called commercial paper. That's not collateralized, so towns and villages cannot do that at this point. We don't have any transaction fees, so when you do an ACH or a wire, you're not going to see any bills from New York Class. We never, have not sent out bills since it started in 1989. So the fees are all encapsulated in that yield. So the way it works is it's up to 15 basis points, 0.15%. So for example, let's just say our rate was 5.15. That's what everyone actually gets. 5.30, that 0.15, so 5.30 is what the treasuries and the banks that we have are yielding right now. So 5.30 is called the gross yield. 5.15 is the net, which is what all participants get. I think today is 5.17, but just giving you an example. So that's how it works. It's a very small fee for everything that you would get. So everything is done online. You just move the money right back and forth between your bank. To sign up, you would need to pass a resolution. We give a sample resolution in our registration packet. And does anybody have any questions at this point?
Can you talk about guarantees, or talk about guarantees a little bit?
Yeah. So So it's not, there is no actual guarantee, but it is collateralized. So it's sort of like having insurance that you probably will never need, but it's there for your protection if something happens. So for example, you work with a bank now, whoever your local bank is, right?
Putnam County.
Putnam County. So Putnam County, when you put $1 million with Putnam County, they, over the $250,000, they have to give you the FDIC, I'm sorry, $250,000 is what they give the FDIC. Beyond that amount, they collateralize it for you, okay? When we work with banks, like TD Bank is one example, they will collateralize it for us, up over that $250,000 FDIC. So while there's no guarantee, there is that protection, you know, if something happened to one of the banks that we're using. The other thing that we're buying is treasuries. They're US treasuries. I know people might say, what if something happens to the government? We're all in a lot of trouble if something really happened where the government didn't pay. The government is still rated either AAA or AA+, depending on what rating agency. So that's kind of, you know, again, this has been around for 35 years, has never had, it's like a money market mutual fund in that it's dollar in, dollar out. That's what I used to rate. I rated a couple hundred money market funds for BlackRock and Fidelity and PIMCO and all those companies throughout the years. This is very similar in that it's a local government investment program. New York actually is one of the safest states because they require that collateral. Other states don't. So you would go, you know, for example, Colorado, you can buy commercial paper unsecured. We could buy that then for Colorado. For New York, we can't. So, so there's no, you know, actual guarantee, but it's, I would argue, it's as safer than any money in a bank just because we're actually fully diversified as well. We have lots of investments in different treasuries and things like that. What happens if, you know, rates come down? The treasuries are actually worth more because people, once you bought them and you have it in your portfolio, that treasury retains more value because if you want to sell it, someone's going to pay you more for it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure. It's a good question, though.
And I have a question again regarding the fees with the net and the gross.
Sure.
Was it like 0.15, is that standard?
So 0.15 is, it's actually a little bit low. So money market funds tend to be anywhere from 20 to 30 basis points, 0.2 to 0.3. There's, in the average local government investment program, I was looking at this, I'm not sure exactly, it was around 17 or 18 basis points. So we're about 15. And that's the max. So once we hit over 10 billion, then it moves down to 14 basis points. And if we hit higher thresholds, then it goes down even more. But the board sets that.
Our board or your board?
No.
So the board of New York Class sets it,
Yeah.
and one of the board members, I don't know if I gave you guys that sheet, one of the board members is local, Karen McLaughlin from Village of Rhinebeck, she's the treasurer there. So, but other board members are all over Orange County, there's a couple in Long Island, there's one in Westchester, but yeah, so they set it. And every 3 years they can renew that. It's never gone above 15 basis points to my knowledge, I don't believe so. But I know over at least the past, since I've been there, 7, 8 years, it's always been 15 or below.
So Joel came to the Dutchess County Association of Supervisors and Mayors and gave this presentation. And so then that's when I had reached out to Joel and asked him if he would come. He gave a presentation to Eliza and I, and that's when we said, well, let's have him come and do that for the
Right.
board, so that.
So as a discussion point, if we were to approve, say, a resolution, does that give you as the chief financial officer the authority to work with Eliza to determine how much and when?
I would say the board should still, I mean, Eliza and I could talk about it, and then we do a presentation to the rest of you to make a decision as to how much.
How much?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
Okay, no, I wasn't sure how it operates.
I also
Sure.
think if you're committing funds to, you know, to any particular source, you'd be looking at resolutions to do that.
Yes, well, he said it would be
Yeah,
a
no,
Right,
resolution,
right,
Yeah.
so, yeah, you'd all see.
Correct, yeah, you would pass a resolution, usually then it's delegated to, it could be the mayor, the treasurer, whatever, to actually move that money back and forth. Again, since ours is completely liquid, you know, you can move it, and if you want, you know, if you move $1 million and you want to move $1 million
You
back,
say,
you just do it.
oops, let's move it back.
Right, and, you know, and people will test it out, they'll say, oh, let me move $1.5 million, I'm gonna move a half back, and then they try it out, move it, and it's, you know, that's how it works, but, you know, I also gave you guys the list of who locally does it, so you can reach out to any one of them
Yeah.
and just see, you know, what their experience is.
I had talked to several when we
Okay.
were at that meeting,
Oh,
just
okay.
to get, you know, their feel
Yeah.
for, and everyone.
Obviously it was, obviously it was good, or else you wouldn't be here right now.
That's
so.
right. No, exactly, and actually, since that meeting, several other towns have signed up, like
Okay.
Wappinger, the village, the town,
Okay.
some others, but yeah.
All right.
But a lot of people just don't know about it, and that's why I'm
Yeah.
trying to get out to
I
as
didn't know
many.
about it until.
And if anyone knows anyone at the fire districts or fire
I
departments.
mentioned it.
Oh, you did, because I was
to the
just
fire
saying that, because a lot of
department.
times they really benefit.
Yep.
Because their rates are even lower, you know, so, anyway.
And just to confirm, yeah, my only other, this is strictly for municipalities?
Yeah, so it's literally just for, you know, villages, towns, cities, counties, school districts,
Okay.
And fire department.
and fire.
Yeah.
Any kind of fire, actually,
Oh,
yeah. And that's it, though. You know, libraries are not, which is really unfortunate. We've been fighting with the comptroller's office, trying to get them to change that, but, yeah.
Anybody have any other
No?
questions
All
for
right,
Joel?
thank you.
Okay.
Very good, thank you.
Joel.
Thank you,
Appreciate
appreciate
it.
it, thanks.
Thank you for coming.
All right, so I would just suggest you guys take a look at all the information and, you know, we can make it an agenda item in the near future to make a decision.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, have a good
Okay.
night.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Good night.
Good night.
So,
Yeah, I think that's good. We'll do a little bit of homework and, you know, maybe if we just get some rough ballpark numbers for our next discussion
Yeah,
to see if it's something that we want to move forward with. Because I don't know if we're looking at 5,000,
Yeah.
I have no idea where we're at.
on that,
I think a percentage probably, or, and then we would have to keep looking at the numbers, cause the money fluctuates when we get taxes in, when we pay a large bill, so it's definitely something that has to be looked at constantly. And where we can just put like, we just want a minimum in there. Well, Lori and I discussed,
yeah, well,
we just wanna dip our toes in and we'll
Yes.
see how it goes.
Yeah. Get a little more comfortable
Right.
with it.
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
You know, maybe we look at one of our accounts, you know, whether it be capital or water or something, and put a percentage of that
Right.
one in and just see how that rides for a little while or whatever, so. So Eliza and I will talk about it some more and
Good.
maybe bring some ideas
Sure.
back and see what everybody thinks.
Okay.
Okay, I skipped over minutes just because I thought get Joel in and out
Mhm.
so he could have the rest of his evening, not have him sit through anything. So hopefully everybody's had a chance to read the minutes. Anybody have any questions regarding the minutes?
Nope.
All right, so can I get a motion to approve the July 15th and July 31st minutes?
I'll make the motion.
So one of you is a
Then
second.
I'll second.
Okay.
I'm on it.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Yes. Okay, yes. Eliza, if you wanna head out, you don't have to say.
Thank
It's up to
you.
you, I'm not throwing you out.
Thank you.
Please
Thank
understand
you.
that. Thank you, Eliza.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Yeah. All right, so we have Municipal Solutions. You know, as we've talked, is our Lower Baxter Well project has gone on much longer than we thought in the original bond that we had taken out, the funds. We have to close out, I believe it's expiring, or I'm not sure what the word is, September. And so we have to kind of close that one out and go out again to finish it. We're gonna probably go out for another 6 months. So it required an amendment to Municipal Solutions that is overseeing all of this for us for this project. So this is an amendment to close the one out and then also go out and do the bond, what's the wording? Bond council for the additional payment or additional funding that we need to finish the project. So, does anybody have any questions regarding the amendment, the contract that we have with Jeff Smith from
Right.
Municipal Solutions to
Right.
do all of this work. It's just now amending it for the latest thing because we had to then also, we added on the Grandview Avenue part to this, so it's now kicked it out a little bit more.
Okay.
So I will make a motion to approve the minutes. Is there
The amendment?
the amendment? Yeah.
Mm.
What
Yeah.
did I say? Amendment, amendment.
Yeah.
Unless, is there any other questions regarding it before?
No?
All right,
No.
so I make the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So now, speaking of that, we have change order number 5. This is for TNA that is actually going to be doing the construction of the water main replacement on Grandview. So we had the special meeting to pass the resolution to move forward with the Grandview water main replacement. Now this is the change order in his contract to now actually do this work.
Okay.
So, is there any questions regarding that? All right, so can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion to
Change order.
approve the change order,
Okay.
change order number 5.
I'll second that. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, and staying on Lower Baxter, we have pay request number 6 in the amount of $68,291.04 for Castleman, who's doing all the electrical work out at Lower Baxter.
I'll make the motion.
And I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, and I will make the motion to approve the Metro North Treasurer's Report as presented.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right. Engineers report. Brian, do you have anything? Is Jonathan on, or just, is it you, Brian?
No, John's got some sick kid issues going on, so
Okay.
I jumped on.
All right.
But really, I don't have much yet. There's not much going on. I am
Okay.
coming down tomorrow to pull some flow meters for the sanitary sewer INI study, and
Okay,
yeah, it's really, I don't have much to report, to be honest with you.
okay. Does anybody have any questions?
I do on Grandview.
Well, Brian might not be up to speed with that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't-
No, if you just happen to know,
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm just curious where we are with getting the work performed there on Grandview for the new line.
So TNA, I can answer that. TNA is basically what we're waiting for right now is health department approval to move forward.
Okay.
So we have flyers ready to go for everyone on Grandview and Orchard to inform them of the work going to be happening. And TNA is ready to go. So basically, I actually put a call into Jim Teed at the health department to see if,
Get the process.
well,
Expedited a
John Zarowski from Labella has been reaching out to him. He has everything, we just don't have the final approval, and so it was suggested that maybe I could do the nudge, and so I did that today. I've not heard back from him
Okay.
yet. So we're hoping we can start this week is what we were hoping for, but it's starting to not look good, but we still have a little time, so we'll see. But yeah, TNA's ready to go.
Okay,
So
good.
as soon as we can get the approvals, we're good, and now that we just approved this, we're good. So now it's just a matter of the health department's approval.
Okay. Great.
So, they'll start with the test pits to, check, the piping on Grandview and the connection on, Coleman. They're then going to, mill just one lane, so one lane at Grandview and Orchard would stay open. So there won't be any road closure to that to do the work. And then when it's all done, the service connections on the opposite side of the road will hopefully be done using directional boring so that we won't have to rip up the whole road. And so then just the one lane would get paved over once it's all done. So that's
Okay.
the plan, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we get that approval in the next day or two and get going on it. He said it would probably be out from start to finish. We're looking at approximately a month if everything goes well.
That's not terrible.
No.
It's good. It's good.
And then shortly after that, hopefully, we will then have certification of our new well fields.
What is the Department of Health reviewing?
They're reviewing the pipe and sizing connections. I'm not really, to be honest,
Okay.
sure
Yeah,
what all.
separation, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
but we don't have sewer on that street, on either street. So that's why I'm not really sure what exactly they're
It's just like a
looking at.
requirement that we have to go through?
Yeah, and it's also because of our funding through EFC that we had to jump through all these hoops. So one of the things that we had to do just recently was the seeker, the original
Right.
seeker, we had to do the amendment because the original
To
seeker
bring-
just was the connection to the end of Grandview.
Right, yeah.
And then once we wanted to do the water main on Grandview, we had to amend the
Right.
seeker to cover that.
Include it.
That was a request from EFC because of the funding, so.
Gotcha.
Hopefully that
Yeah.
answered things.
It did?
Oh.
Yeah.
About that?
Very well.
You're feeling it there.
Hey, it's- And as far as with the county, I mean, it's still summertime, so people are still time off here and there, so,
Yeah. So,
yeah.
all right, any other questions for engineer? All right, well, thank you, Brian.
All right, thank you, guys.
All right, and Joe, anything
Yeah, I mean,
attorney-wise, and maybe you wanna
I will.
fully
I'll
introduce?
introduce Sean in a moment. I just want to say on that, just following up on that matter, I also, because I had to be in touch with their legal people at DOH in order to move this process, like the SECRA amendment, et cetera, I've also been in touch with them. I do suspect that the delay is probably just staff-related and almost like typical agency-related. So
Right.
I'm guessing that with a little bit of this nudging, I know they are very much aware of the importance of the project.
Right.
And so I think as soon as somebody turns their attention to it, they'll try to expedite. That's the word I got from our contact people there. So that's hopeful, I think.
Good.
And then the other thing is, this is Sean Curtin. Sean is an attorney at our office. Excellent attorney, but you'll find that out soon. And Sean's gonna be subbing in primarily on the sewer commission account, as a matter of course, I would say, but obviously could provide backup on our polling accounts in general. And Kyle and I just wanted to make sure that you put a face to the name, and tomorrow we'll circulate emails, so everybody can be in touch as you need to. But yeah, if you have any questions for
All
Sean,
right,
you can
well,
ask him.
Great.
Sean, welcome, and
You're welcome.
Thank you.
thanks for joining the team.
We just one time, I know we had somebody sub in, and I know that can be disconcerting when they show up. You've never seen them
Right.
before. You don't know if they
Yeah.
know anything about your
Right.
accounts. But we'll make sure in the office that there's shared information and everybody's got what they
Great.
need. And that's it.
All right, well, thank you, Sean.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, okay, so can I get a motion to pay the July bills in the amount of $68,993.49?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And, also a motion to approve the August 13th prepaids in the amount of $167.64.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And Metro North bills in the amount of $2,317.60.
So moved.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Public comment, as I see none, Can I get a motion to, or, well, is there anything else before we adjourn? Does anybody have anything?
No, I'm good.
All right.
I
so-
did have one question
Sure.
about what's turning into a pretty serious pothole on East Main Street.
East Main Street?
Yeah,
Right across from
yeah,
the Commons.
yes,
The test pit,
yes.
okay.
I know that the highway's paying attention to it, they keep
Yeah.
refilling it, but
Yeah.
that gravel comes out every day.
Yeah. I almost hit it today.
6 or 8 inches deep, it's a
Yeah.
pretty good one.
I wonder if they could put some millings in there until, because we're gonna be digging it right back up
Oh,
to
you
do
are?
our connection for Pauling Commons,
Okay.
which we're working on,
Working
and we're
on.
gonna outsource that, to be honest. So it's gonna be a contract, we have to get RFPs, put together to have contractors give us their quotes and have somebody
Okay.
do the whole thing, including the paving when it's done.
When it's done.
But in the meantime, it'd be nice if we had some millings to
Just
just at
something
least
a
put
little
there, cause the
more-
gravel just doesn't
Yeah,
stay.
and also a little,
Green.
and a little sign, just warning,
There.
because it washes out. Yeah, and I'll talk to Jimmy tomorrow.
See if we can do that.
They're doing recyclables tomorrow, we don't
Yeah,
do
yeah.
it, yeah.
Yeah, if we can throw some millings into
Yeah.
it, just to patch it for now. All right, anything else? So then can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Everybody fighting for it. Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you, everyone.
You were waiting.
I'm waiting for some move.